Hello, it is Jack Gill, and welcome back to Mundo Sporto. Big game this afternoon between Arsenal and Manchester City at the Emirates. We are sponsored by OneFootball. Before I get into the team news and all that, firstly, a reminder of what OneFootball is. This video is sponsored by OneFootball. OneFootball is the only football app you need to follow thousands of teams, hundreds of leagues and competitions worldwide. It is packed with all the latest news, videos, fixtures, scores, stats, and key dates, and it personalizes the content that you want. It allows you to put your favorite team in, your favorite leagues, the fixtures you want to follow. It is an incredible app that I use, all my friends use, my family use it, everyone I know uses OneFootball. And if you're not using it yet, you need to go and download it. So Arsenal at the Emirates, they've been very inconsistent this season. They face a Manchester City side who are currently the most informed side in Europe. Both sides have made 5 changes today. I'll go into that in a moment. But Man City have looked incredible going into this game. They're in fine form. They come into it off the back of beating Everton 3-1 in midweek. Arsenal, on the other hand, as I mentioned, it's been an up and down season for them. They played in the Europa League on Thursday against Benfica. They drew 1-1 away from home, which is a good result for them in Europe. In the last game in the league, they beat Leeds by 4-2. They're currently in 10th, but a win against the league leaders today will see them go 8th. A big day for Mikel Arteta, who used to be Pep Guardiola's assistant, of course. And Pep Guardiola has spoken highly about Arsenal this week. And there's no doubt why. He knows Mikel Arteta really well. Mikel Arteta knocked City out of the FA Cup last season too. I'm just about to read out a statue as well about Guardiola and his best winning runs. So Bayern, between December 2013 and March of 2014, they went on a 13-game winning streak, which was ended by Arsenal. And then at Bayern, between August of 2015 to October 2015, they were on a 12-game unbeaten streak before it was ended by Arsenal. Now, currently, they're on a 15-game unbeaten streak stretching from December the 20th to now, and they face Arsenal today. So what can Arsenal do under Mikel Arteta today? As I said, have been very inconsistent all season. Both sides have made 5 changes going into this game. I'll just get the Arsenal side up for you now. In goal for Arsenal, of course, Leno. He's back now from that suspension that he picked up against Wolves. You got Hector Bellerin at right back, Holding and Pablo Mari as the centre-back pair, and then Tierney on the left for Arsenal. Then the midfield, you've got Elneny, Xhaka, Saka, Odegaard, Pepe and Aubameyang. That is the Arsenal side. And then for Manchester City, and just a warning, the Manchester City side and bench, particularly the bench, actually should be illegal, probably, because the amount of firepower they've got on their bench today is ridiculous. And keep your comments coming in about that. But yeah, the team is pretty mad. And they've got Ederson in goal, Cancelo off the right today. We saw him play on the left in midweek against Everton as that inverted fullback that he usually plays off the right, and we'll probably see that again today. The centre-back pairing that's been so good for Manchester City this season, Diaz and Stones. Then at left back today, we've got for Man City, they've got Zinchenko, Fernandinho, Gundogan and De Bruyne as their midfield 3, I think, and then Bernardo, Mahrez and Sterling as their front 3, I reckon. But obviously, I mentioned Sterling, Bernardo, Mahrez. You could see them 3 as the front 3, or it could be De Bruyne in the false 9, Bernardo dropping into that midfield 3. It could be either, or they could play with the front 4. It's Manchester City. They've got so much firepower, and their bench today is mad. As I said before, Zach Steffen, Kyle Walker, Gabriel Jesus, Sergio Aguero, Emerick Laporte, Rodri, Torres, Mendy and Foden. An absolutely crazy bench for them today. I just realised I've not read out the Arsenal bench. On the bench for Arsenal is Matt Ryan, Cedric, David Luiz, Gabriel, Ceballos, Willian, Emile Smith-Rowe, Martinelli, and Lacazette. So a strong, decent bench for Arsenal too, but it's nothing compared to that Manchester City one. So welcome everyone. I'll go into the comments now. It's about 10 minutes before kickoff. Let's see how you all are. Mark Caldwell pointing out the Rangers won once again, 3-0. I'm happy with that. I'm back on a bet today, so there you go. Loads of things about thoughts ahead of the game. Ewan Hackin says City's bench could get top four. Jesus, I honestly think City's bench this season could have come second. But yeah, definitely top four. They'd be in the race, the mad race. Obviously, earlier on, we saw West Ham beating Tottenham by 2-1. I thought that was a great game. Gareth Bale coming off the bench was a big difference for Tottenham. West Ham looked good again. Jesse Lingard still in fine form for them. What a signing that was in January. Antonio on the score sheet for them too. And then we've just seen Leicester beating Aston Villa by 2-1 to the same scoreline, and they look strong. Beat Aston Villa with a very, very good first half performance. James Maddison, who went off injured in the second half, scoring. Harvey Barnes on the score sheet again with a man-of-the-match performance. Will he be in Gareth Southgate's European Championship squad, or should he be in the squad? Let me know in the comments what you think about that. But this game is no doubt game of the day. We have seen a shock already this weekend, or can you call it a shock? But with the Merseyside derby, you won't really call it a shock based on current form. But Everton, of course, beating Liverpool, and that's all I'm going to say about that. But will we see a shock today? Will Arsenal get anything out the game against, as I say, the most informed side in Europe right now? Loads of questions asking how I am from Samira and Christoph. Welcome, all of you. Hopefully you enjoy the game. Hopefully it's a good game, and hopefully it's an entertaining stream today. Mark Caldwell says don't mention the derby. Kamir saying what's the lineup for this match? I've just been over it, so I'll go over it just before kickoff again, Kamir. So if you're still with us for then, I'll go over it in about 5 minutes or so. Score predictions, keep them coming in. I think we're going to see a convincing City win today. I think it's going to be 2 or 3-0. I think they won't concede. They've got, that back four back, and they've looked very, very good recently. Chicken Boy thinks 4-0 City. Mark Caldwell pointing out Rangers are now 4-0 up. Christoph says 2-1 to City. Let's have a look. Is there any more comments here for any score predictions? Not I can see. Oh, yeah. James Quilliam 2-1 to Arsenal. So James predicting an Arsenal win there. Kian says 4-1. There's comments here saying, who do I want to win? It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because I think City have run away with the title already. I think Arsenal aren't really near us in the top four race yet. But a win for them today would be a step in the right direction for Arsenal. And as I say, they go 8th with a win today. Samira says 2-2. Mark Caldwell pointed out Leipzig just won heavily today too. Yeah, and if you can see the Sabitzer goal, absolutely outstanding finish from him. And big win for them after a disappointing defeat for them against Liverpool in midweek. So they bounce back today, and hopefully, I keep saying recently, hopefully that second leg is moved to the Puskas Arena the way that we're performing at Anfield at the moment. Jake Menz says 3-1. Christoph says Gundogan will definitely score. I am convinced he is in great goal-scoring form at the moment, isn't he? Of course, for Manchester City. He picked up a little knock, but he's back now and in the starting lineup for today's game. Jenska is a bit of a joker. I'm not sure. I've not checked any of the scores this weekend, mate. That's all I'm going to say about that. Jake Menz saying thoughts on Trent. Outstanding player. I thought he was brilliant yesterday. One of the only players in the team that looked like he wanted something. He is a huge part of our attack, and teams are trying to nullify him more this season. That is a big reason why our creativity has dipped slightly. Defensively, we know isn't the strongest point in his game. It doesn't mean that he's really weak there. He was unfortunate to concede the penalty. He really, really was, and it's a difficult one. But yeah, I think he's an outstanding player. He's one of the best right backs in world football. I think he's a generational talent. He's invented a whole new breed of fullbacks. And you only have to look at what he's won at the age of 21. Outstanding player and a big part of the future Liverpool Football Club. Mike, I've nearly been done by that comment again. your names, I swear to God, you need to stop with this, everyone. There's a comment here saying 5-1 to City. Thank you, Mike, for that one. I'm not going to answer the thoughts on Adam Bogdan either. But yeah, I've been done by that one. Kamir says, Jack, thoughts on Phillips? Did really well off the bench yesterday. I've seen nothing from him when he started to, suggest otherwise. The sort of player he is, he's decent. He's what I call, he would be a top-level championship centre-back. He'd fit in perfectly at Burnley or a team like that. He's a no-nonsense centre-back. I question his pace, but every time he's played in the first team in a Liverpool shirt, he's not put a foot wrong. And from what I've seen from Kabak in his 2 Premier League games where he's been shaky, I've seen better from that flip. So that's just my opinion on that. Christoph says, that came and went. He says City will win this, but no one can predict how Arsenal will play. It's going to be an amazing game. Yep, you can see Arsenal, which I often say typical Arsenal, where they cause their own problems. They look a mess. There's a calamity of errors. It's laughable. Or you could see an outstanding performance from Arsenal and them producing a shock today. You don't know what to see. What we'll see, sorry. Gents says, where is Craig? Yes, he's doing the United Newcastle game live after this. So hopefully we'll get more people along in the comments. I can see the players walking out the tunnel now, by the way. And then, everyone will be ready then for the game this evening where Craig will take over and hopefully Newcastle can produce a bit of a shock against Manchester United. But remaining completely unbiased, let's get on with the game. As I say, the players have come out the tunnel. Paddy Stewart says he misses this channel. Well, don't miss us. Just join us, mate. Enjoy this. Enjoy this stream. So here are the lineups again. In goal for Arsenal, Bernd Leno. And then they've got a back 4 of Bellerin, Holding, Pablo Mari and Kieran Tierney. So, yeah, that's their back 4 for today. Week. Then they've got a double pivot of Mohamed Elneny and Granit Xhaka. Then Bukayo Saka, Martin Odegaard and Nicolas Pepe. Really intrigued by Martin Odegaard and how he'll settle into English football. And then Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang leads the line for Arsenal today, the Arsenal skipper. So, yeah, that's how they'll line up. The substitutes, Matt Ryan, Gabriel, David Luiz, Cedric, Ceballos, and they've gone off the screen. But, yeah, I think Smith Rowe, Lacazette, and others are around there too. In goal for City, Ederson, of course, Cancelo, Stones, Ruben Dias, and Zinchenko is their back 4. Bernardo Silva, Fernandinho, and Gundogan is what their midfield 3 is expected to be by Sky. But we could see De Bruyne, who Sky reckon will be in the front 3 with Mahrez and Sterling. You could see De Bruyne in the midfield and Bernardo Silva in that front 3 alongside Mahrez and Sterling. I have no doubt it will be fluid. And then the bench for City is just mad. They've got Aguero on there, Laporte on there, Mendy on there, Foden on there, Rodri on there, Walker on there. Just an abundance of talent. And as someone commented earlier, wouldn't be surprised if that City side, a City side that makes the bench would finish above Arsenal this season, for example. John Stones starts for Manchester City again this evening after being rested in midweek. He is appearing for the 100th time for Manchester City today, and what a resurrection to his Man City career it has been for him this season. Keep your score predictions coming in. I am on Sky Go, so I believe, based on the games earlier, about 25 seconds behind the game. So hopefully I'm not behind your televisions. But yeah, I'll try and keep up as much as I can. Interesting comment from Pedro there. I'm going to avoid that from here. Troy says, Troy says, I think by either getting top 4, doing a Chelsea 2012, we can get top 4. I can't really make sense of that, mate. But if you can try and break it down for me, I'll let you know. Kevin Ball saying, if City win today, just null and void the season. I'm already in that mood, mate. Asterisk season, remember. That's what we were told last year. John Moss is the referee today. Let's see if there can be a Premier League ref that goes through a game without making a bad decision, which is probably unlikely. I don't understand how John Moss gets these big games still, because every time I watch him, it's funny watching him when there's a quick break and he looks blowing. But yeah, hopefully There are no controversies in this one, and the refereeing performance is good. De Bruyne looks ready, says Christoph. He always looks ready. Best player in the Premier League, in my opinion. But yes, we're about to get underway here. As I said, keep your comments coming in throughout. We'll see the shape of the game. I'll start with a bit of commentary, but then I'll go into what you're all suggesting in the comments. Jake Dawkins trying to catch me out in there, I can see right now, but you're not going to get me twice in one stream. Samira asking a question about Salah, which I'll answer in a moment, and see the referee is just taking his position. It's John Moss, as I said, so slowly. And it won't be long before we get underway. They'll do, obviously, the kneel, which we've become accustomed to now in Premier League football for Black Lives Matter, of course, before the game gets underway. It will be City kicking us off here at the Emirates. Jonathan Moss blows his whistle, starts his stopwatch, and Bernardo Silva gets the game underway. Finding, I can't forget the clock, can I? There we go. Is it started for you lot? Start for me. But we are underway, and see, I'm getting better. It's still a bit touch and go, but it's getting better. Arsenal on the ball now with Bellerin on the right-hand side. He goes for a long ball. It's brought down by Aubameyang, but Arsenal lose it. Gundogan, De Bruyne, nice from City. De Bruyne again over to the right-hand side where Mahrez is. Mahrez looked dangerous against Everton in midweek. He was my man of the match, and he looked dangerous there. Puts a lovely ball across, and there's Sterling, who snatches at it. I'll tell you what, City nearly taking the lead inside the first minute there. If Sterling had produced a better finish, but he snatched at the ball, sliced at it, and it ended up back at the Englishman's feet. Now it's Ruben Diaz who just enters the Arsenal half with the ball at his feet. Zinchenko on the left-hand side plays a 1-2 with Ilkay Gundogan. Zinchenko again coming inside, backwards to Ruben Diaz. Diaz, long ball over the top, lovely ball to Riyad Mahrez, who brings it down really nicely. He shapes up Kieran Tierney, comes inside and whips a ball in, and there's Sterling, and there's the lead. Inside 90 seconds for Manchester City. Oh my word. We said, didn't we? We don't know what Arsenal will turn up. And quite simply, 90 seconds gone and they haven't turned up. And Sterling, who could have scored about 20 seconds beforehand, has scored here. And it's lovely from Man City. Ruben Diaz, lovely ball over the top. I said Mahrez caused problems in midweek. He sizes up Tierney. He comes inside, gets across in too easily. And no Arsenal player challenges. And it's the small Raheem Sterling who loses Rob Holding easily, rises like a salmon, and heads it into the back of the net, past Bernd Leno, who just stands still watching it. And it is 1-0 to Manchester City. Wow. What a start for the league leaders, and what a poor start for Arsenal. Kevin Ball says, Jesus Christ, Arsenal are useless. We spoke about this. I did a stream earlier in the season where it was Arsenal against Aston Villa. Arsenal conceded early on, causing their own problems, a mess at the back. And those City were produced, the build-up play there was lovely. Mahrez cutting in well from the right, producing a lovely ball. It's just far too easy. And Mikel Arteta is being shown on my screen now, not a happy man, and I don't blame him. Rob Holding lost his man far too easily, and Sterling takes advantage of it, rises and heads beyond the German keeper, Bernd Leno. Let's have a look at De Bruyne takes the free kick long. I think based on the start here from Manchester City, we could see a cricket score today. Mahrez on the right-hand side. Goes back to Diaz. Cancelo, so high up the pitch. Mahrez back outside, and then it's a fancy flick from Mahrez. He's feeling it today. Cancelo. Back to Ruben Diaz. Ruben Diaz to Zinchenko. Zinchenko to Gundogan. De Bruyne. It was a loose pass actually from Gundogan, and De Bruyne ends up going back to Ederson. Ederson to Zinchenko, who chests it to Ruben Diaz. City happy to keep the ball now and pass it along the back. Arsenal pressing them highly, but there's no real intensity from Arsenal in these early stages. It's now Cancelo. Jefferson Joshua says already, I think that's how we're all feeling, mate. I don't think it was. I think it was all a long shot for us to hope that Arsenal would make City slip up today, but less than 90 seconds before City took the lead, and it was Raheem Sterling on the score sheet for Arsenal. For City, sorry, not for Arsenal. Arsenal find themselves a goal down. 4 minutes gone now. City, as I say, keeping the ball. No intensity from Arsenal in these early stages. It's now John Stones who finds Mahrez. Little 1-2 with De Bruyne. Diaz on the halfway line goes to the left-hand side where Zinchenko is. Zinchenko with a weak pass, but it's found Gundogan, who looked to be fouled by El Nani, but the advantage played by John Moss. The ball whipped over to the right-hand side where Mahrez is. He'll cut in again, finds De Bruyne on the overlap, causing all kinds of problems for Kieran Tierney on that right-hand side. Riyad Mahrez, but Pablo Mari does well to get that away. City on the ball. They've gone back to Ederson, who's high up the pitch, like we know Ederson likes to do. Right-hand side now where Stones is. De Bruyne. De Bruyne forwards. It's found its way through to Sterling. Can it be 2-0? I don't know how he's not found the back of the net there. He got the ball lost between his feet, but it's too easy again. It's a lovely pass by De Bruyne, but it just bounces past Pablo Mari and finds its way through to Sterling. But Sterling just gets it caught between his legs, and you know it should be a situation where once he's dummied that initial shot and forced Bellerin to dive in, on the second chance, if he hadn't have got it caught between his legs, it would almost certainly be 2-0 there, and a wasted opportunity for Manchester City. But I'm sure they'll get many more, and they find themselves with a throw-in inside their own halves now. Henry says Sterling could have scored a hat-trick before 5 minutes. He really could. He slices the ball inside the first 40 seconds with a good opportunity. Then he scores, and then did all the hard work, sat Bellerin down, then gets the ball caught between his legs. The City look to break quickly here with Zinchenko, but rather than breaking, he decides to slow the game back down and goes across to Ruben Diaz, who isn't being pressured at all. Goes short to João Cancelo, who, as I say, plays as an inverted fullback, almost looks like an additional central midfielder for Manchester City, the way they play and have played all season. Central midfielder, sorry, yeah. It's Mahrez on the right-hand side now, who goes backwards to Stones. Stones to Diaz. And City will look to attack again. De Bruyne bounces to Fernandinho. Bernardo Silva, loads of space in behind here. He finds Mahrez on the right-hand side. Mahrez, De Bruyne in space on the edge of the box. But Mahrez sizes Mari up. It takes a deflection and goes behind for a corner. Mahrez causing all kinds of problems for Arsenal right now. But Bernardo Silva found him on the right-hand side. Mahrez cuts in, causing all kinds of problems. Dummies the cross. Mari is sold by that. He beats him, and then he goes for a strike, which is blocked well by Tierney. Beat Leno, but goes behind for a Manchester City corner, which is taken short. And Bernardo Silva putting inside off this right-hand side. Now finds De Bruyne at the edge of the box. Miskicks it, and it goes wide. 8 minutes, well, not even 8 minutes gone, and City have had 4 or 5 very, very good chances. Arsenal have been useless. Samir saying Arsenal are playing like Sunderland. Hunter points out, I am behind. Yes, I am slightly behind, mate. But Sky go for you. Kevin Ball talking about Liverpool. We'll have chats like that at half time. I want to focus on this for now. Any comments like that? Interesting comment here from Mohammed, who says oil money ruins football. City running away with it this season, but they've been class on the pitch. You can fault them for how much they spend and the money that they've pumped into this squad, but it is just a world-class squad and undoubtedly deserve to be top of the league this season. Man City, they're one of the best sides in Europe right now. But Arsenal on the attack now on the right-hand side with Nicolas Pepe. Zinchenko challenges. Has he get the ball in? Yeah, it looks like he has, but he's giving it away to El Nani, who's deep in the City half. Bellerin on the right-hand side for Arsenal. El Nani, Bellerin inside. Granit Xhaka now for Arsenal. Over to the left-hand side where Kieran Tierney is. His cross is blocked and it goes out for a throw right by the corner flag for Arsenal. Just a scoreline from earlier on for you here. Barca drew 1-1 with Cadiz. Cadiz hadn't won in their last 5. Barca, I think, unbeaten in 8 in the league, I read earlier. But obviously it was a draw. If you're a betting person, never back Barcelona at the moment. Pouring midweek against PSG and dropping points in the league again today. What has happened to them recently? Arsenal taking the time with this throwing, still inside the first 10 minutes here, and as I say, they've been bombarded with City opportunities, but they're on the ball now. They're looking to create their own. Rob Holding on the ball, goes left to Pablo Mori. Here's Elneny over to the left-hand side, and now it's Saka. Odegaard. This is better from Arsenal until Odegaard plays a pass straight to Zinchenko. Zinchenko finds a loose pass, but it finds Mahrez. De Bruyne is brought down. Mahrez has looked so good in this first 10 minutes, so bright. There was another fancy flip from him then that found De Bruyne. Been incredible this first 10 minutes from him. He's clearly feeling it. Pulled out a couple of flashy passes in these early stages here and played a big part in the Manchester City goal. It's Diaz now for City. Comment here from Kevin Ball saying, like Arsenal are going to win. I can't see them scoring, let alone winning. It could be a cricket score, as I say, the way this game has started. But it has looked better from Arsenal in the last 60 seconds or so. City play a long ball over the top. It's won by Bellerin. Gundogan thought he was fouled. It looked soft to me. But, you know, I was expecting John Moss to blow his whistle, but he didn't. The ball goes back to Leno, who snatches the clearance. And Fernandinho wins the aerial duel with Odegaard. But Arsenal got it back. Here's Granit. Here's Bukayo Saka. Oh, and that's a foul by Xhaka, but City have the advantage. Xhaka going from behind on Mahrez, and I'd be surprised if he's not booked next time the ball goes out. It was cynical from Riyad Mahrez. Christoph pointing out Mahrez is causing Arsenal loads of problems. He really is. He started very brightly, just like he was in midweek against Everton. He's a man in form at the moment, Riyad Mahrez. Games thinks 4-0 to City. City on the ball now, but Diaz gives it away to Pepe. We don't see that much from him. Fernandinho wins it back after a loose ball from Bukayo Saka. There's a few loose passes from Arsenal at the moment. They need to improve that if they're going to get anything out of this game, or if they're just going to look any good, to be honest with you. Gundogan for City now, just inside their own half on the left-hand side. Finds Zinchenko backwards to Diaz. Diaz then to Gundogan, who's on the left-hand side in loads of space. Roams forwards with the ball before finding De Bruyne, playing a 1-2 with De Bruyne. Back to Zinchenko on the halfway line for City. Looks inside, but then goes back outside to Gundogan. Gundogan in no real rush, not being pressured by Arsenal at all. Arsenal happy to sit off today. Gundogan, Cancelo, Zinchenko. It's clear they're just trying to avoid an embarrassment here. Arsenal, it's passed over to the right-hand side where Stones is. A couple of nice, neat passes between him and De Bruyne. De Bruyne with a poor pass, and he's given away. Head to Granit Xhaka. Pepe, who's got Bellerin on his overlap. He looked like he was busting a gut. He was moving almost in slow motion there. Hector Bellerin, and it's a poor pass from him. And Raheem Sterling just jockeys the ball out well for a goal kick, and he's applauded by his teammate Ruben Diaz, who commands that back four and has done all season for Manchester City. I'm just seeing that Sterling goal back now. You know, Mahrez causing all kinds of problems on that right-hand side for Arsenal, and he dinks a ball across, and Sterling finds himself in between Rob Holding and Bellerin, and Rob Holding just isn't aware Sterling's behind him. And I said before that Sterling leaped like a salmon. He hardly jumped. He hardly needs to jump. Mark Caldwell saying that the latest score for Gerrard's Rangers is 4-1 now. Jay saying, do you know if Xhaka was booked? Not that I know of. It didn't look like it. I'm surprised. He should have been booked. And, you know, I'd be happy if he was. I've got it in my acca. Oh, that's a nice ball from Xhaka in behind, but it's got a bit too much pace on it, and Edison is able to pick it up. Yeah, I've not seen whether he's been awarded with a yellow card. So let me know if you know if he has or not. And Boris says, hello, Boris. Still inside the first 15 minutes here. It's Arsenal 0, Manchester City 1 at the Emirates. I'm very surprised it's not more, to be honest with you. Mahrez caused all kinds of problems early on. Sterling the scorer of the goal for Manchester City. Bernardo Silva looks to switch the ball, but it's a poor pass. We've seen a few of them for Man City today, but realistically, Arsenal haven't been good enough to punish them for it. But they're playing with the ball now, and Odegaard loses it in his own half as Fernandinho gets a foot in, but Arsenal with a throw, and it will be Bellerin. Can he go a game without producing a foul throw today, Bellerin? Let me know in the comments what you think. He's done a few of them, hasn't he, this season? I think he did 5 in consecutive games. Aubameyang losing the ball now in his own half to Zinchenko. Not good enough for Arsenal in this first 15 minutes. De Bruyne. He was under pressure. That was better from Rob Holding, but he goes backwards to Diaz. He finds Sterling, who's in all kinds of space again. De Bruyne plays it through. What a lovely pass, but Gundogan can't get on the end of that. I think he was offside anyway. I think I saw the flag go up. But once again, a lovely pass in behind from De Bruyne. Maybe a bit too much pace on it. I'm just seeing it now. Yeah, he was offside anyway. Ilkay Gundogan. Arsenal in no rush with the free kick. Leno out wide. 1-0 down, but as I said earlier, I think they're just trying to avoid any kind of embarrassment today. City, very much an informed side. Arsenal, very much a side that anything could happen on the day. They're just showing a stat now. The most goals since the start of December. Ilkay Gundogan leads the chart with 11. On that list, Mohamed Salah, Bruno Fernandes, James Maddison, Thomas Soucek. But it is Gundogan, probably the most informed man in the Premier League right now. And City keeping the ball. Ederson under no pressure on the edge of his area, just strolling forwards with the ball. No one is closing him down. He finally produces a ball to Bernardo Silva. I think the worst thing for this game was City getting that early goal because it's just gone completely flat now. Arsenal trying to avoid an embarrassment. City got the game in the hands exactly where they want it, happy to treat it as an exhibition match. They'll keep the ball. They'll patiently find an opening, just like they did for the last 20 minutes against Everton in midweek. Stones just progresses into the Arsenal half. Fernandinho, Sterling. This is what they do, City. They work it well. They work it slowly, build it, a lot of passes, a lot of time with the ball at their feet, and then soon they'll produce something energetic, pacey, quick, and find another opening. But they're in no rush for it right now. Stones on the halfway line for Manchester City, under no pressure at all. Goes on the right-hand side to Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva found Mahrez on the overlap, but the flag is up. He's offside. De Bruyne is not, though. Mahrez didn't switch the ball, but did he interfere with play? Seems like the officials believe he did, and Arsenal will have a free kick. Let's have a look in the comments. William Marsh says no stopping City. Yeah, they're one of the favourites for the Champions League, and the form they're in right now, absolutely. As I said at the start of this show, you know, the most informed side in Europe right now. There's no doubt in that, and I think they're best equipped to win the Champions League more than ever. You know, City, it's been their bogey tournament in the last few years, hasn't it? But this year might be their year in Europe because they've improved that defence. Ruben Diaz was one of the signings, probably the best signing in Europe. But here's a chance for Arsenal. Saka! It's just hit Aubameyang and ended up going to Manchester City who get it away. But that was a real opportunity. Aubameyang was in an offside position anyway, so it'll go back to a City free kick. But yeah, Arsenal worked that well on the left-hand side. Tierney found Saka back to Tierney, and then he pulls it back to Saka on the edge of the area, who's unmarked, and he hits it well. I think it was going just wide, but it hits Aubameyang in an offside position, and City get the free kick. But yeah, City looking so good at the moment. They really are. They're looking unstoppable. James Hill asking if I'm a City fan. No, I'm not. I'm a Liverpool fan. But you just can't. You can't fault the City side at the moment. They're banging form. They look very good. They're playing very nice football, and no one else is causing them problems. They've been very, very good recently. They really have. People in the comments looking at FPL. Who has Sterling in the side? I do. He is the man who separates these two sides at the moment. His goal inside the first 90 seconds here is the difference. Arsenal have the ball in their own half. Mohamed El Nani gets it after an interesting pass from Pablo Mari. nearly dispossessed in their own half there. Holding Mari back to Holden, who's under pressure from Sterling, loses it. Gundogan, Sterling. It's just too easy to get the ball back from Arsenal when they try and pass it around at the back. Well, it was interesting there. That was a real chance for Manchester City. Sterling looked to play De Bruyne in behind, but there was a little tug on De Bruyne. Not enough for a foul, I don't think. But De Bruyne was hoping for one, so he just stopped. But he's going to run out for an Arsenal goal kick. As I say, this game is very, very flat. Very boring. It has been. The game's taken most of the energy out of this. City have the game exactly where they want it. Arsenal look like they're trying to avoid a cricket score here. But they've had a couple of chances, Arsenal. Saka causing problems, and he's found Tierney on the left-hand side now. Cancelo has forced Tierney out of play, and it'll be a City throw-in inside their own half. Well defended there by the Portuguese, João Cancelo. Samira, captain Sterling Yacia, asking how I am. I'm good, thank you. It would have been nice to see City slip up today. Arsenal take a point or something, but I can't see it. They've been outstanding here early on. But Cancelo, with a poor pass there, he gives it away to Pepe. But Arsenal can't get it under control, and they lose it to City again. Zinchenko breaks forwards with pace. City see this as an opening. They've got numbers forward. He's got Sterling and De Bruyne to his left. He finds De Bruyne. They slow it down a bit now. De Bruyne look to thread a pass through. Rob Holding blocks well, but City still have it. Sterling on the left-hand side for Manchester City, the goal scorer. Here's De Bruyne. De Bruyne threads one in behind. Can Gundogan get there? No, he can't. It runs to Leno, who plays it forwards to Elneny. Can Arsenal do anything? Elneny pauses, goes backwards to Granit Xhaka, who I'm still not aware whether he's been booked, so let me know in the comments what you think. I assume he's not, because I've not heard anything, but it was a very cynical challenge from Xhaka, and I don't know how he's escaped a yellow card for it. Rob Holding now for Arsenal. Kamir, captain Bruno in FPL this week. Craig will be live, Manchester United, Newcastle, that follows this game, of course, here on Mundo Sport. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, remember to subscribe, give this stream a like, give it a comment. I'm doing what I can with this game. As I say, it's been very flat. City controlling it. They're looking good. Scored within the early stages, the first 90 seconds. I think it was 80 seconds when Sterling headed City into a 1-0 advantage. Ederson finds a nice, neat pass to Fernandinho, goes over to Zinchenko on the left-hand side. Inside now to Ruben Diaz. Gundogan for City inside their own half. Backwards again to João Cancelo. Stones on the right-hand side for City. Bursts forwards with pace past Odegaard, and then goes to the right-hand side where Mahrez is. He's got Bernardo Silva inside. He goes backwards to João Cancelo. Rangers have won against Dundee United and taken another really good step in the right direction for the title there in Scotland. Gerrard's first title with Rangers, it looks like. They've beaten Dundee by 4-1. But in this game, it's still 1-0. We're about to reach the halfway point of the first half, and Zinchenko inside to Gundogan. As I say, no real rush for City. Arsenal sitting off them. They'll bide their time like they did against Everton. Stones. And of course, they're 1-0 up. They've got the game where they want it. It's De Bruyne, the perfect man to find openings with his ability on the ball. He found Mahrez on the right-hand side, who caused Arsenal all kinds of problems in the early stages. Here's Cancelo, who beats Saka and then tries to find Gundogan, but it's well defended by Elneny. City still on the ball. Stones, Mahrez in behind. There's Cancelo. What can he do? He pulls it inside, but there's no City player in the box. Another exciting opportunity for City, but there wasn't enough numbers in the area for Manchester City then. Really well played from Cancelo to pull that ball back, but there was no one in the middle for Manchester City. It was a lovely move from City. They bided their time, they waited, they were patient, and then a lovely threaded ball in behind to Bernardo, from Bernardo Silva to João Cancelo. City on the ball still in their own half. I think I'm gonna be saying that a lot today based on this first 23.5 minutes. John Stones on the right-hand side. Stones inside to João Cancelo, back to Stones, who goes backwards again to Diaz. It's interesting. What have you made of this first 24 minutes? As I say, as far as I'm concerned, Arsenal conceded early. It's taken a lot of the sting out of this game, if there would have been any anyway, or if we'd have seen Arsenal just sitting off in these early stages anyway, which is probably likely, and City having a lot of the ball. But Arsenal have had the odd chance. Saka cynical there with a foul after losing the ball on the halfway line, and City break quickly. Bernardo Silva inside to Gundogan. Can he get on the score sheet again? Gundogan outside to Mahrez, unmarked. Mahrez cuts inside, dances past Xhaka, who manages to get a foot in. Then he tries to put a ball in, blocked by Kieran Tierney. Mahrez still on the ball for Manchester City. Will he size up Tierney? No, he goes backwards to De Bruyne, backwards again to John Stones, but City still high in the Arsenal area, Arsenal half. Zinchenko, 1-2 with Gundogan. Zinchenko again to Stones. Stones to De Bruyne. No pace, no energy, nothing from Arsenal. No rush to close City down. It really is like a friendly for them right now. Felix thinks a 2-0 victory for City is on the cards. Let me have a look at these comments. But first, just a bit of a possession stat for you. City have had 70% of the possession in the first 25 minutes. That sums up the game. Arsenal happy to allow City to have a lot of the ball. They'll sit off. They're not pressing high. Cancelo. Here's Bernardo Silva. Little back heel to Mahrez. Cancelo. Oh, look to find Bernardo Silva in behind, but Tierney as well. And a bit of panic at the back there from Arsenal, but they've calmed down now. They've got it. Pablo Mari brings the ball forwards but loses it to Fernandinho. Arsenal causing their own problems here when they are on the ball at the back, and they lose it high up the pitch again. And there, City may have thought that was another good opening for them. But now Arsenal have a chance. Bukayo Saka, Odegaard, Pepe and Aubameyang busting a good to get forward, and Saka looks to find Pepe, who was unmarked. Fernandinho gets a block in, and then Saka over the top. Pepe is offside and leaves the ball and allows it to go out for a Manchester City goal kicks. There, we've seen something better from Arsenal there, you know, attacking quickly with a bit of urgency, with a bit of pace. They've been so flat in this opening 25 minutes, but that is more like it from Arsenal. But in the end, they waste the opportunity. Christoph pointing out City have been very, very dominant here early on. Darren, FPL, says Arsenal so boring for years now. I keep calling them the Mediterranean Burnley, mate. I know as a Liverpool fan, I'm not in a position where we can really speak at the moment. We're not creating any openings, but you know the way Arsenal play, the way Arteta set them up, a lot reminds me. They remind me of Burnley. But here, Mahrez cuts inside again, causing loads of problems, makes Tierney tangled up there and has a shot which is blocked by Pablo Mari, and Arsenal get it away. But Mahrez is the man for City today, who's causing Arsenal all kinds of issues. Fernandinho forwards. Here's Ilkay Gundogan. Twiggy24 says Arsenal need to pull their finger out their arse. They absolutely do, but I can't see it happening. Adita Roy says, who do you think is going to win? Hate to break it to you, mate, but I think City have been very, very dominant, and I can just see them pulling away as this game goes on. They've had so many opportunities. It could be 3, 4, 5 for City inside this first half an hour. They've got the game exactly where they want it, and there's no urgency, there's no desire from Arsenal. You know, this as a neutral is a bit pointless to watch. I can't lie to you. City dominating the ball. They're treating it like an exhibition match, and De Bruyne tries to thread a pass through there. Saka does really well and gets the ball out for a City throw. But yeah, it's like a friendly for City. It's like they're playing their under-23s. Arsenal sitting off, giving them a lot of respect today. Arsenal, it's clear they're keen to avoid a drumming here at the Emirates. Both sides playing in midweek, of course. I will be on Mundo Sporto on Wednesday night for City versus Borussia Mönchengladbach, I believe. Craig will probably be doing the United game on the Thursday against Sociedad. Sociedad taking a big, United taking a big lead into that second leg. They won 4-0, of course. You expect United to rotate on Thursday. I'm seeing the next 6 fixtures now for Arsenal. Benfica, Leicester, Burnley, Tottenham, West Ham, and then Liverpool. So some tough fixtures in there for Arsenal, starting with what you'd call the toughest today. The league leaders, Manchester City. The ball headed forwards. Arsenal on the ball now. Can they do something with it? Bellerin inside to Odegaard. I've said it's been typical Arsenal this first half an hour when they've been on the ball. Oh my God. Comical from Hector Bellerin there, who tries to pick out a pass but ends up pulling it straight out for a Manchester City throw. And that sums up the first half an hour from an Arsenal perspective. And Arsenal fans can't be happy with this first half an hour. The only thing they'll be happy with is the fact that this is only 1-0. Gundogan ends up in a bundle on the floor, but Arsenal attack. And there's Tierney. What a strike that was. Best Arsenal chance in this first half an hour there, and it came from nothing. A really strong effort from Tierney, but now City break quickly. Edison throws to De Bruyne, and that's not a good pass from the Belgian. It's behind Mahrez. And a real good opportunity is now slowed down. And Mahrez on the right-hand side back into De Bruyne. Can he pick out a better pass? He whips it in. Not enough bodies in that area for Manchester City. We've seen that has been the case a couple of times for City today. Here's Cancelo back to John Stones. Zinchenko now. Ruben Diaz. Over to the left-hand side where Raheem Sterling is. City biding their time. Zinchenko. They lead by a goal to 0. Sterling the scorer after 80 seconds. Cancelo on the ball. Zinchenko on the left-hand side. Pepe pressuring him. Sterling. Zinchenko. Pressed by El Nani. The pressing game has been better the last few minutes from Arsenal. I wonder if it's something that Mikel Arteta has shouted from the sideline to work on. Mahrez in an offside position when he's picked up the ball. So Arsenal win the free kick. Yeah, people pointing out I am behind. Yeah, I'm using Sky Go. Unfortunately, that has to be the student life for me. So I am slightly behind, but hopefully it doesn't make much of a difference. I assume most people watching this aren't actually watching the game anyway. And if you are, you'll just have to bear with and see my reaction just afterwards. I don't think I'm too far behind. I shouldn't be anyway. I'm never usually too far behind. Aaron says, fair play to your Burnley Arsenal comments, but Burnley have bottle and passion. Completely agree. Genuinely, there's a big job for Mikel Arteta to do. And, you know, he did great initially. They had the new manager bounce, which we often see with Arsenal. They won the FA Cup, of course, with some good performances there in the final against Lampard's Chelsea. But we saw how he crashed out at Chelsea. Beat City in the semi-final, of course. I thought that was one of the best performances we've seen from an Arsenal side under Mikel Arteta. But since then, it's been too inconsistent. Arteta's tried to sort out their defence, but they haven't been as strong going forwards. He's fiddled with the team a bit in recent weeks. They were doing well with Emile Smith-Rowe on the side, and Saka was performing really well for them. But they've always got a performance like this in them, where they lack energy, they lack desire, they lack spirit. You see, the thing is, if this works, then everyone praises Arsenal for this, the way they've set up today. But, you know, they've allowed City to come to their stadium and they just sit off. They're playing with no desire, no spirit, no energy, and they're 1-0 down, for God's sake. It must be so frustrating from an Arsenal fan's perspective, giving City too much respect here. Zinchenko whips a ball in from the left-hand side and he heads away. Saka to Granit Xhaka. People will say to me, I'm sure Arsenal fans will say, well, how are you supposed to play against Manchester City? Well, when you're 1-0 down, try and have a bit of desire, try and play football. But when they do try and play football, Arsenal at the back, they've given the ball away. They've looked sloppy. There's been things like they have from Hector Bellerin. And as I say, a big job for Arteta. There's so much deadwood for them to get rid of in this squad. And there's an example what I mean as Rob Holding loses the ball easy and Arsenal are dispossessed. A sloppy pass. Can Man City make the most of it? It's a wasteful chance for Fernandinho with a sloppy pass to Gundogan. And Arsenal recover. Here's Bernardo Silva who tries to step over but gets the ball caught under his foot. But City, again, with a big chance caused by Arsenal, who are poor in possession. And Arsenal playing with the ball at the back now. It's Bernd Leno holding. You just know when Arsenal have the ball at the back, they can cause themselves issues. Odegaard on the ball, turns, stops. Xhaka over to the left-hand side where Pablo Mari is. Tierney, Saka, back to Tierney. Pablo Mari. Saka over to the left-hand side on the touchline where Tierney is. This is better from Arsenal. Saka. He's tackled. Oh, the throw's gone to Man City. It'll be interesting to see that back again. I think the referee's got that right. But yeah, just watching that chance back again, Holding Waitful in possession, a sloppy pass, and Fernandinho is on it like a shot. Arsenal wanted a foul, but no chance. Fernandinho's won the ball. He's found Gundogan. It's the first touch actually from Ilkay Gundogan, who lets him down. You know, the Gundogan we've seen in the last few weeks brings that under control perfectly and finishes it. But there, a sloppy first touch has let him down. And Arsenal, though it's not been nice from them in the first 35 minutes, are still in the game. City been wasteful with a few opportunities. Here is Arsenal with the ball. And here is Odegaard. Elneny. Forwards on the right-hand side to Bellerin. Bellerin whips a ball in over the head of Aubameyang. And here's Xhaka. Finds Saka. Can't control the ball, but recovers well. Finds Tierney, who whips a good cross in, but Odegaard can't get it under control. That's better from Arsenal as far as going forwards is concerned. They found quite a few men there at the back post, unmarked. Pepe had lost his man also, but Odegaard just can't get the ball under control after a lovely ball in from Kieran Tierney on the left-hand side. Let's have a look at the comments here. Is Sterling England's best winger? Question from Swiggy24. Let me know what you lot think. It's interesting, actually, and it's probably a point that you'll hear more and more in the next few weeks, in the next few months, leading up to the European Championships in terms of England's starting 11. There's an abundance of talent in the forward positions for England. And who would you go with if you were Gareth Southgate? I've said openly before, I think Sterling is one of the best players in the world. You know, he's so good, and it's so obvious that he's world class, but he's so sloppy at times too, and he does things that are a bit bizarre. You can go unnoticed in a lot of games too, but when he's on form, he is so pivotal for this City side, and he's found the goal that at the minute put City in the lead. And here is Zinchenko. Diaz for Manchester City under pressure from Aubameyang. As I say, the pressing game now from Arsenal seems to be a bit more intense. They're more in the faces of Manchester City, but they're still sitting off for the majority of it. Stones over to the right-hand side where Bernardo is. It's interesting, you know, City dominated his first 35 minutes, but find themselves only 1-0. And if you're Arsenal, are you growing in confidence now? You've seen City missing a few opportunities. I'd like to see Arsenal come out in the second half with a bit more desire, but I suppose in doing that, they might open themselves up more at the back. We've seen a few errors from them defensively so far in the early stages, so I want to make sure nothing like that happens. Diaz goes to ground under minimal contact and then ends up fouling Aubameyang, and then he kicks the ball away. I'm surprised he's not had a talking to from John Moss. There, the Arsenal players surround the referee. They want Diaz to enter the book, but John Moss shakes his head. Yeah, what happened there was Diaz was just shrugged off the ball from Aubameyang. He wanted a free kick. John Moss was having none of it. So Diaz has just cynically brought Aubameyang down. There's not much in it. He's hardly caught it. But I think the Arsenal players weren't happy about him kicking the ball away afterwards. I think they wanted to take the free kick quickly. We don't see much of that these days, do we? Yellow cards for kicking the ball away like that. Mustafa saying looks more like Arsenal are trying not to lose by more than one, but if they have the chance to attack, they will. Yeah, I think that's absolutely what they are trying to do. I said that a couple of times, but you know, they're giving City a lot of respect at their own stadium. They really are. De Bruyne. Oh, Arsenal on the attack now. Saka goes to the left-hand side where Tierney is. Stones with an important block I just saw in the corner of my eye. Diaz was there sliding in, ready to block himself. Had Stones and not got to it, but Arsenal have a throw high up the pitch. Just seeing that back now. Arsenal this time winning the ball back, high up the pitch, inside the City half, trying to make their own openings, but good defending from John Stones in the end. And Diaz was flying in anyway, as I say. That partnership of Stones and Diaz has been so pivotal for City's successes so far this season. They've built a really, really good partnership, and I really don't see Arsenal scoring today. George YNW8 thinks it'll be 1-1 at full time. Interesting. Not ruling Arsenal out. As I say, it's one of them where at the end of the game, people will be saying tactical masterclass if Arsenal go and get something from the game. But City have dominated early on. They've had so many chances and clear-cut opportunities. Arsenal have been a mess at the back at times. Here's Rob Holding for Arsenal. Bukayo Saka. Over to the left-hand side where Kieran Tierney is. He manages to get past João Cancelo. Can he whip across? And yes, he can. Fernandinho clears it away. It will be an Arsenal corner. Twiggy24 says De Bruyne or Fernandes. De Bruyne easily best player in the Premier League. Just having a look, Arsenal clearly targeting that right-hand side for Manchester City. Most of their attacks have come down the left-hand side in this first 40 minutes. Arsenal, no rush to take this corner though. Be interesting to see if they can make something from it. Odegaard takes his arm in the air. It finds Xhaka at the near post. It's headed away by Zinchenko. There is Tierney, headed away by Zinchenko again, but Saka gets his head. A bit of head tennis there. We love to see it. Mari on the right-hand side. Cancelo now. Cancelo for City. Can City get another one before half-time? Can Arsenal pull one back before the break? Or will it remain 1-0 to City going into half-time? Here is Ilkay Gundogan. Now Ruben Diaz. Ruben Diaz across to John Stones. John Stones roams forward with the ball, finds Bernardo Silva. Now Stones inside the Arsenal half. Stones back to Bernardo Silva. He's got De Bruyne and Mahrez running in behind. He finds De Bruyne. He fires one. And Bernd Leno left it in the end. I don't think he wanted to flap it just in case it went wrong. I don't know what that was from De Bruyne, whether he was trying to catch Leno out, whether it was a cross with pace, with power for someone to get on the end of it. But there wasn't many numbers in the box for Manchester City. City lead by a goal to 0. It's short from Bernd Leno. Rob Holding. They like to play from the back, Arteta's Arsenal. But we see it go wrong for them so often. But they've worked it well there. It's Odegaard now. Bellerin on the halfway line for Arsenal. Inside to Elneny. Elneny recycles possession going back to Rob Holding. Now it's Granit Xhaka for Arsenal. Not the most exciting 45 minutes, but there's been chances and Arsenal going forward now. Saka plays it forwards to Tierney. There was a bit too much pace on that ball, but Tierney does well to keep it in and put a cross across, but City head away. Saka now recovers the ball for Arsenal, and it's Rob Holding. Gets the ball tangled in between his legs, but he's still got it. He finds Xhaka. Xhaka back to Pablo Mari. He goes past the halfway line, and Xhaka back into the Arsenal half to Rob Holding. Elneny. Aubameyang. Elneny again. Inside to Rob Holding. Arsenal not rushing it. City sitting off them now. Allowing Arsenal the ball. But it's worked well there. Bellerin. Pepe. Back inside to Bellerin. Well played, Ilkay Gundogan. And Pepe! Good chance for Arsenal. That is a lot better from an Arsenal perspective. Pepe ends up driving his effort into the side netting. They work that well, Arsenal. Going across on this right-hand side. Pepe, a lovely pass in. It was good defending by City. Good defending by Gundogan to cut out his pass to Bellerin. It would have been a real opportunity for Arsenal if it had fallen to Bellerin, but it came back to Pepe, who drives his efforts into the side netting. Will says, oh God, how's it going? Arsenal still in it. They really are, and they're growing into the game. Holding. City dominated the first half an hour, had quite a few chances. Arsenal sat off them. But now Arsenal are having more of the ball and have had a couple of chances themselves. Tierney having a good effort from distance, which caused Edison problems. And we just seen that chance from Pepe that hit the side netting. Xhaka whips across him. Fernandinho heads away from the edge of the area, holding on the ball. De Bruyne with a block, but Arsenal still have the ball. City forcing them backwards though. Holding. Pablo Mari. Odegaard looks in behind for Aubameyang, but it runs through and Edison is out like a shot and clears it forwards. Long, Mari heads it back to Leno. Well, I read that possession stat earlier on about 9-10 minutes ago now, where City had 70% possession. It'll be interesting to see the possession in the last 10 minutes. Arsenal have had a lot more of the ball. Elneny, Pablo Mari, Elneny again. And this is where City have improved their game last season. You know, they go 1-0 up and the season's gone by, and you not rule teams out because those teams would sit back. City would be vulnerable defensively. Right now, City aren't vulnerable defensively. And that's why I think they're in the best position they've ever been to, you know, compete, not just in the Premier League, where we're seeing them run away with it this season, but in Europe as well. Liam Mansell says, hi. Hi, Liam. Thank you for joining us. Here's Pepe on the right-hand side. A few step overs, and he whips it in. It's away by Diaz to Bellerin. Inside to Xhaka. Xhaka whips it in away again by Diaz. Sterling. Headed by Rob. Holding. Gundogan. Good tackle by Xhaka. Is that high foot? Yeah, it is. John Moss has stopped it. Xhaka isn't happy. As I said, I'm not sure if he went into the book earlier. That's his second cynical foul. Will John Moss put him in the book now? Yeah, it was just a high foot from Xhaka. I don't think he'll be booked for that, but it's whether John Moss booked him for consistently infringing the laws of the game. Terence Burt asking Wolves fans when Jota will be back. I don't think Wolves fans care, but hopefully from a Liverpool fan's perspective, he'll be back soon. There was 1 minute added on. We've played 1.5, as you can see from the clock. I think as soon as Edison kicks this, Moss will blow his whistle, and he does. And that is half-time. Not the most exciting 45 minutes, but City in control. They're 1 goal ahead. They've had a few clear-cut chances as well where they could have strengthened their lead. Sterling could have had a hat-trick inside the first 10 minutes, but it's his goal inside 80 seconds. That is the difference right now. And before I go into the comments, keep them coming in. Ask me any question you want. There's not too many chances to go over from that first half. But let me know, A, what you think of that first half. Can you see Arsenal getting back into this game? And then any questions you have for me, I will try and answer. Thank you all for joining us for the first half. And remember again that this video is sponsored by OneFootball. And in a moment, you will see the advertisement for that. But for now, as I say, keep your comments coming in. I'll stop the clock first before I go into the advert. But yeah, it's been a decent first half, not too entertaining. City have the game exactly where they want it. They lead by 1-0. But Arsenal are growing into this game. They've been a lot better in the last 10 minutes of that first half. But do they look like scoring? Not in my opinion. But it'll be interesting to see what the second half is like, and let me know what you think, and I'll look at it after this short advert. This video is sponsored by OneFootball. OneFootball is the only football app you need to follow thousands of teams, hundreds of leagues and competitions worldwide. It is packed with all the latest news, videos, fixtures, scores, stats, and key dates, and it personalizes the content that you want. It allows you to put your favorite team in, your favorite leagues, the fixtures you want to follow. It is an incredible app that I use, all my friends use, my family use it, everyone I know uses OneFootball. And if you're not using it yet, you need to go and download it. Well, there you have it. If you haven't got One Football, make sure you go and get it. It's what I use for all my pre-game stats on this. I got the lineups from it. I got, the formations that it looked like City would line up in, and Arsenal too. It's a really, really good app, and you can personalize it too. Definitely go and check that out. And they are our sponsors for this video today. I'm going to go into the comments in a moment. I'm just going to make sure the clock isn't still on edit mode. Let's have a look here. TTV Klopp saying, Jack Clock, don't you worry, I'll remember it in the second half. Let's have a look here. We've got a couple of City fans that have joined us at half time. Comment here from Stanley saying Man City. Very obvious. He's a City fan. Comment here saying he isn't booked yet. So Granit Xhaka didn't go into the book for that cynical foul. I think he got away with that one. We've seen a couple of fouls. I think if he has one more in the second half, he may go into the book. An easy bet for you, isn't it? Every game, Xhaka yellow card, almost like Thiago yellow card, really. Zone asking what do we use to stream? It's for us to know and you to find out. No, we use StreamYard, so that's what we use. Divock Origi says Adama to Liverpool ? Not for me. I think he's too pricey for his capabilities. I'm personally more interested in Rafinha from Leeds. Just my opinion. Twiggy24 is a City fan as well. Didn't know that, mate. What do you think of your team this season? Philip Duda says, hi, Jack. How are you, lads? I'm a United fan. Hope they win tonight. Do you think we will win? By the way, love the channel. Well, firstly, thank you, Philip, for that comment. Do I think they'll win tonight? You're playing poor Newcastle side who have been dragged into a relegation zone. They're under pressure. I think United will win, yes. A reminder that Craig will be over after this stream for Manchester United Newcastle. He will be doing that live on Mundo Sporto. So, Philip, if you're a United fan, make sure you check that out. But if you love the channel, stay with me for the second half here as well. Hopefully, we have a much more exciting second 45 than this one. Power Play says, hey, Jack, how are you doing? I'd be much better if we picked up 3 points yesterday, mate. But, I'm plodding along and, I'm enjoying the stream. I mean, I'd love to say I'm enjoying the football, but it's not a particularly exciting game. But, it's good to be in the stream. It's good to read out your comments and engage with you all. Easy Scott 99 has joined us. He says, hey, everyone. Aswin says, do you think Arsenal going to win tonight? No, I can't see them scoring. Personally, I think I said before the game 3-4-0 City. I still think 3-0 City full time. I think Arsenal have defended all right, but City have still had several clear opportunities. As I say, Arsenal have grown into the game in the last 10 minutes. It'll be interesting to see how they come out in the second half. But yeah, I can see City getting a goal early in the second half before the hour mark, and then pulling away with it. I do think it'll be 3-0 for me. Who do you want Liverpool to buy in the summer, said Divock Origi? Well, I think this is a big summer for Liverpool Football Club. It's going to be interesting to see who comes in, who goes out. There's numerous names I want. It's going to be interesting to see if we get Premier League football again. Champions League football again for next season. Fingers crossed we do, because I think it's key for our transfer proposals in the summer. There's no chance of us managing to, get in someone who is the likes of Mbappe and Haaland, who we've been talking about. Though it's unlikely anyway, there's absolutely no chance without Champions League football. So I think that's pivotal. Firstly, I think there's players like Rafinha we need to look at. We've been linked with Basuma, but I'd rather Sanchez personally, Renato Sanchez. Basuma's a top player though. I'd like to see some more creativity in the midfield. I'd like to see players like Harry Wilson, Divock Origi, Marco Grujic sold. And yeah, it's an important window for Liverpool Football Club. It really, really is. Philip Duda, would you take Bruno Fernandes at your club? Of course I would. World-class player. James Friction says, no, I'm not going to have a look at that. Oh my God, how have I fallen for that? How have I fallen for it? I just read, hello, mate. I absolutely love your work. And I fell for that hook, line, and sinker. Well, that's a tough one. But yeah, first half has been decent. Sterling has put Manchester City ahead. City lead by a goal to 0. And Sterling could have had, a hat-trick inside the first 10 minutes. He really could have. Just having a look in the comments still. What is your prediction for the second half? I expect them to pull away with it. Manchester City, I really do. Jensk 1102 says Arsenal look better than Liverpool versus City. It's an interesting one. It depends what you deem as better. They've allowed a lot more openings. People forget against City for the large part of the game, Liverpool were the more dominant side. I think the first half, there's no doubting we were the better side. Second half, City came out strongly, scored the goal, we equalised. It was only after Curtis Jones was taken off with half an hour to go that City really pulled away. Arsenal are still in this game, but City could be 3-4, 5-0 up inside the first half an hour. So though Arsenal have grown into the game the last 10-15 minutes, it's not been enough for me. It hasn't, and I know City are a difficult side to play against. I know they're not. I know they are. Sorry, but it's interesting. As when saying Arsenal did end all of Pep's unbeaten runs, though. Yeah, but as I said earlier, the 2 long unbeaten runs at Bayern were ended by Arsenal. Could they do it today? I can't see it, but you can't rule Arsenal out, and They have been well drilled today, and they're lucky that City aren't further ahead. Therefore, they're still in this game. It's only 1-0, so it'll be interesting to see what the second half is like. Comment here, Philip Duda says, "What's the update on Henderson? I was watching the game. He got injured. You're lucky. You are unlucky. You have so many players injured, especially defenders." We haven't had an update yet, as far as I'm aware. It's a difficult one, but. It's one of them. We've suffered with injuries all season. Henderson is a huge blow. He's pivotal for us. All we've been told from Jurgen is that it didn't look good. I expect him to be out for at least a month. Hopefully, it's not much longer than that, because Henderson is so important for us. He really is. And actually, I was talking to Craig last night, and I think we're going to get City in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. I honestly do. So, by then, I think in the next couple of weeks, we'll see Fabinho back, we'll see Jota back, and players coming back from injury are going to be pivotal for us. And hopefully, Hendo's injury isn't too long, and he's back for the quarterfinals of the Champions League. But that being said, we haven't exactly put the game to bed against Leipzig. It's still all to play for. A 2-0 lead is a dangerous lead, and obviously we're not looking very good at Anfield at the moment. Comment here saying, "I tell you what, I think Saka plays for Arsenal." Well done, mate. Ball. Comment from Asman. "If you had Bruno, would you be top of the league? What do you think?" It's so hard to say. It really is. He's turned around Manchester United, but we've seen from players against Thiago, you can have class players and put them in certain systems, and it doesn't mean it's going to work. I think it's very difficult to say. Sam Kill was saying, "What's your opinion on Liverpool's chances top 4? There's so many teams involved that you can't rule Liverpool out. So many teams are stepping up and then getting back on it, and then stepping up and then getting back on it. One thing's clear, one thing's for sure. Liverpool are going to have to really turn it around, and quick, if we want top 4. It's going to be incredibly difficult to see us recover it with the way we're playing at the moment. But we're not out of it yet. We took a big blow to our top 4 hopes yesterday, but this Liverpool side can turn it around, and the next few weeks are key. We've got Chelsea after Sheffield United that weekend. That is huge. It is huge. It's going to be interesting, but no, we're not out of it yet. Mark Caldwell pointed out Jack Grealish is out for a month. Let me know what you think of Jack Grealish. I think he's world class personally. Eliza John, she's in the chat. Nice to see you, Eliza. Adam Cusack saying, "Who should Liverpool sign?" I've just been over that, mate. I think everyone wants big marquee signings this year. I think we need centre back. It'll be interesting whether we go for a player like Kanate or Koundé. I'd love us to sign Koundé. I think he's a quality centre back. I really do. I know he's been linked with Manchester United. I think he's outstanding, and he would be a really good acquisition for any club in Europe. You know, he is an outstanding young talent, in my opinion. I think with Gini going, we need a midfielder in. You know, it'll be interesting. I think it'll be either Renato Sanchez or Bissouma, but it'd be nice to see a bit more like a creative midfielder bought in. I'd like to see a forward too, at least one. I'd like to see a number 9 and maybe a backup winger. Rafinha, I'd like to see. There's talk of Mbappe or Haaland, but that's unlikely. And at the minute, when Champions League is no certainty, it's extremely unlikely. Mustafa saying Kanate injury record is a madness. Yes, that puts me off. Aswin saying I love this channel and biased. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. What is going on? Philip Duda asking if you can have a mod. I have no idea all that stuff. It's not me that sorts it out, mate. But yeah, keep your comments coming in. We're in the last ad break before the second half. It won't be long before we kick off again. And don't forget, I've not forgotten the clock. So that is tattooed into my brain at the moment. Fahim, do you think there is a slight favouritism from Klopp that's clouded his judgment a bit from subs and team choices? No, I just don't think our squad is strong enough. I really don't. You know, our starting 11 is one of the strongest in Europe, but with all the injuries, our squad is incredibly weak. And when things aren't going right for us, we've got no one on our bench capable of coming on to change the game. You know, Everton looked better at the start of the game yesterday. In fact, they were the better side all game. You know, they had us exactly where they wanted us. We had a lot of the ball, but did we create many clear-cut opportunities? No. And they had the better players to bring off the bench. You know, they had Allen on the bench, they had Calvert-Lewin on the bench, and you know we saw them both introduced early on. Liverpool at the moment don't have them options, so it's tough. Pedro, love the channel and bias. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Zach saying, should you buy Kabak permanently? I don't think so, based on what I've seen so far. But, you know, he was good against Leipzig, but I've not seen enough. And what I saw against Leicester and Everton hasn't been good enough. Thought Nat Phillips was better than him against Everton, in my opinion. Will says, Jack, do you agree that what we are seeing from Mo is like us from... what we are seeing at the Mo is like us from under Brendan Rodgers. Extremely inconsistent. Some games amazing, most games awful and battling for the Europa League. It's an interesting one. It's kind of not. I wouldn't compare the two. I just think we're going through a blip, to be honest, and injuries aren't helping. Confidence is low. Hopefully we can turn it around sooner rather than later. Sheffield United at the weekend, rock bottom of the league. It's a huge game. We need 3 points. We really do. But anyway, I'll stop the questions for now. The teams are coming back out for the second half. Pepe and Aubameyang both having a conversation with Arteta. It is 1-0. Arsenal still very much in this game. Man City have had opportunities to put the game to bed, but they haven't done yet. I've got a super chat from Jensk1102. Thank you very much, Jensk, for that. He says, Klopp should have rotated more to rest key players. I've seen a lot of this, and there are games where we have got it wrong in terms of rotation. For example, playing Jota in a needless game in Denmark. However, when it gets to this point, it's hard to rotate because we've got so many injuries. And as I say, there's so much dead wood in the squad. It's incredibly difficult. So, you know, though I agree with your point partly, I don't think it's the sole reason why. I think there are numerous things. But as I say, we're about to get underway here. So we are underway now, and I will start the clock. There we go. I have remembered. Brownie points for me, sorted. And we are underway for the second 45 minutes. City have a throw in their own half. Arsenal kicked off with the ball, but it was a long ball forward, and it's gone all the way out for a City throw. And De Bruyne finds the ball at his feet and picks out a pass to Sterling, who holds off Bellerin really, really well. He's on the ball now. Goes backwards to Zinchenko. Inside to Stones. Sorry, it's Diaz, not Stones. Diaz on the ball for Manchester City. He's got time. Arsenal sitting off him. He just enters the Arsenal half. He's just looking around, assessing his options. Still no pressure from Arsenal. He's now running with the ball. Will he hit it? No, he produces a pass over to the left-hand side where Sterling is. Sterling, can he beat Bellerin? He sizes him up. Yes, he can. Bit of a change of pace. Bellerin back into position. Sterling tries to cut in again. There's Zinchenko, who strikes over. City there with the first chance of the half. Thank you once again for your super chat. Will saying, I remember the clock both times today. Yes, give me a medal. Smashed it. I know, short. As I say, Arsenal love a short pass from a goal kick, don't they? They like playing from the back. So often it doesn't quite work though. And yet again, they give the ball deep in their own half, but they managed to recover. I don't think City were expecting to win the ball back there. But John Stones wins the ball back in Arsenal's half again. Here's Mahrez. Arsenal with 11 men behind the ball. Cancelo back to Diaz. It's a powerful pass from Cancelo. Diaz did well to get that under control. Zinchenko, Sterling. Zinchenko on the overlap. There he is. He gets the ball under control well. Can he get across in? De Bruyne's on the edge of the area unmarked. He finds him. Whipped in. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, I thought that was in the back of the net, but it goes just wide. It was the right idea from Kevin De Bruyne, who, watch your profanity, Kevin. Oh, you can see what he tried to do there. It's come to him from Zinchenko on the edge of the area, and he's tried to lob Leno. He's seen him out of position, but it just trickles wide. It's really, really clever from De Bruyne, and if that comes off, it's top class. But this time, it trickles wide of the post. Kieran Tierney gives the ball away in the Arsenal half again. Gundogan, De Bruyne. Arsenal not started the second half too brightly. They've given the ball away on a few occasions. Zinchenko is a man who started brightly. A nice 1-2 with De Bruyne, and then he roams forward with the ball before going backwards to Kevin De Bruyne. What can he produce? Oh, he gives it away, De Bruyne, to Odegaard. Sloppy from the Belgian. He's done that a couple of times today. Leno. Holding, back to Bernd Leno. Dara Azizi thinks we should have signed Mahrez. Interesting one. I think Mahrez is quite inconsistent. When he's on his day, he's world class, that's for sure. He really is. Sterling forwards for City now. Sterling beats Holding. Oh, no, he doesn't. That is a phenomenal challenge from Rob Holding. A crucial challenge, not allowing Sterling in for another opportunity. A sloppy pass there from Odegaard. It's recovered by Xhaka. Be interesting to see the influences from the bench. I mentioned before the game, City have a very, very strong bench today. But Arsenal have some strong options on the bench too. Oh, it's interesting there. Tierney's gone down with what looks like a face injury. Looked like he sort of headbutted the shoulder of João Cancelo. But Arsenal still have the ball. Interesting, John Moss hasn't stopped play there. He's clearly gone down with a head injury, Kieran Tierney. But he's back to his feet. Here's Pepe, just inside the City area. Pepe hits it. And there's Diaz again, throwing himself at the ball. What a signing he has been for Manchester City. Elneny, Tierney, whips one in. Again, away from Stones this time, but they've not got it clear properly. Here's Odegaard, about 25 yards out. Over the Holding, back to Odegaard in a bit of space. What can Odegaard do? Holding, whips one in, away from João Cancelo. De Bruyne wins it back off Xhaka, who took too much time on the ball, and here's City are. Can they break? It's 3-on-3. Xhaka comes back now for Arsenal. Mahrez has City and Bernardo alongside him. He goes to Bernardo, and City slow the game down as Arsenal have a lot of men back. Sterling to Gundogan. Backwards to Fernandinho. John Stones. John Stones whips the ball over to the other side where he looks for Sterling, but it's easy for Hector Bellerin, and here's Nicola Pepe. Pepe inside to Granit Xhaka. Granit Xhaka. Odegaard. Elneny. Elneny to Rob Holding. Rob Holding now across to Pablo Mari. Pablo Mari to Saka, who rotates, spins on the ball, and he's fouled by Bernardo Silva, who becomes the third man in John Moss's book today. I said earlier, I think Granit Xhaka should have gone in there in the first half, but he didn't. But Bernardo is the first one in the referee's book for what is a cynical challenge from Saka, whose change of pace beat the Portuguese. Michael Dunn has joined us. Hey, he says, hello, mate. Hope you're enjoying the game. Hope you're enjoying the stream. Here is Arsenal now. Rob Holding on the halfway line. Odegaard. Holding again. Pablo Mari. Tierney. Tierney on the left for Arsenal. Saka. It's obvious from Arsenal they rode the storm for the first half an hour and they've grown in confidence. Here's Saka dancing past a couple of City players. He's been Arsenal's brightest spark going forward. There's a weak pass from Elneny. Oh, and that's a nasty challenge from Granit Xhaka, who now will go into the book. And I think I've just seen Bellerin mouth. He got the ball, which if he did, he's he's stupid. Because he's very clearly very late there, Granit Xhaka. It's cynical. He could have been booked early in the first half, but there is absolutely no doubt that that is a yellow card challenge from Granit Xhaka. And he finds himself in John Moss's book. Bellerin now fouls Sterling, who skips away from the challenge. Bellerin on the ball. Here's Gundogan for City after City have won it back. Fernandinho. Diaz, Ruben Diaz inside the City area, picks out a pass to Zinchenko, who's on the touchline in the Arsenal half. On the left-hand side, back to Diaz on the halfway line for City. De Bruyne, who's dropping deep, finds Zinchenko, who's got De Bruyne in loads of space. De Bruyne skips past Pablo Mari, who was intent on not bringing De Bruyne down. De Bruyne loses possession, but City have it back in their own half. Ruben Diaz goes forwards with the ball, finds Bernardo Silva. Back to Diaz. Diaz backwards, all the way to Ederson, just giving the Manchester City goalkeeper a touch of the ball. He's not had too many today. Stones, so right-hand side, Bernardo Silva, Stones again. Cancelo, Stones again. Let me know what you think about, Ederson as well. Can he beat Petr Cech's clean sheet record? City do really well to get out of danger there. Bernardo Silva on the right-hand side goes further right to Mahrez. Mahrez inside. Sloppy pass, but it has found Zinchenko. He goes left to Sterling. Sterling cuts inside on the edge of the area. Pulls it back to Zinchenko. Zinchenko to Fernandinho. City not forcing any openings. They're taking their time. They lead by a goal to nil, of course. Zinchenko. Question here, opinions on Leicester. I think they're a very well-run side with a good coach and some very, very good players. And they're showing by constantly breaking into the top six. But De Bruyne goes in behind to Ilkay Gundogan. Gundogan, brilliant tackle. But there's a claim for a handball. Looks to me like it's just a corner. But Rob Holding did really, really well to produce a tackle there. It looked like a really good opportunity. As I say, City bided their time, and then there was a lovely ball by De Bruyne through the Arsenal defence. And Gundogan should have done better with that, but it's incredible defending from Rob Holding, and City have taken the corner quickly. They're passing it short. Zinchenko, who's been bright at the start of the second half. De Bruyne, Zinchenko, can he hit it? Blocks well by Holding, who has defended very well in this opening 10 minutes of the second half. Can Arsenal break? Odegaard, tackled by Fernandinho. They've lost it in their own half again, Arsenal. Fernandinho does so well to out-strengthen Saka there, hold him off the ball and find Bernardo Silva. Mahrez, Cancelo, Diaz for Manchester City. De Bruyne over to the left-hand side where Sterling is. Sterling cuts in, look to beat Bellerin and shoot. It's blocked by Holding. And here's Gundogan. No, tips out for a corner. Gundogan was looking for another goal there to add to what has been an impressive tally since December. He scored 11 goals since December, Gundogan, more than anyone else. And he nearly had another one there, but it's a lovely save to his left by Bernd Leno. And Arsenal now have a corner to defend. Big opportunity there for Gundogan. And City can't complain. They've had plenty of opportunities to double their lead. Once again, City take it short. And Cancelo now tries to whip a cross in. Elneny away. And there's Zinchenko. What a strike that was. Oh, sorry, it was De Bruyne who hit it. He tried something special, but it flew over. Yeah, I thought that was Zinchenko. Look, very similar, don't they? But yeah, he just gets across it and under it a bit too much, De Bruyne. If you thought any player had that in the locker, De Bruyne would have been one of them. But not this time for him. Ball forwards. I can see a lot of highs in the chat. Welcome, everyone. If you've been here for the whole game, thank you very much for joining us. Still half an hour left. I'm hoping for something a bit more exciting, maybe more goals. An Arsenal goal would be nice. A few common Arsenals in the chat. I think it's a few speculative shouts. I can't see Arsenal getting anything from this game, but they're still in it at the moment. City have had numerous chances to double their lead, but haven't been able to. Morris switches the ball from right to left. Here's Sterling. Sterling on the left-hand side. Odegaard gets back well for Arsenal. De Bruyne manages to recover what was a sloppy pass from Sterling. Here's Fernandinho over the top to an unmarked Cancelo who crosses first time, and it's caught into the hands of Bernd Leno. Well, saying better start to the second half from Arsenal, to be fair. Yep, Rob Holding's defended well. It's interesting, they've not been as sloppy, Arsenal. It has been better, obviously, because they've not conceded, and they're still in the game. But, it's still not been great for them. Tierney. Kevin Jones is a Manchester United fan, and he believes that the Prem is already done. He believes it's City's. I think a lot of people do, mate, myself included. But City win the ball back again after a sloppy pass from Odegaard this time. Sterling inside the Arsenal half, backwards now to Gundogan. Gundogan, what can he do with it? Produces the pass to Cancelo. Cancelo backwards to Stones. Stones inside to Diaz on the halfway line for Manchester City. Zinchenko. Yusuf says Arsenal can make a comeback. He believes. Zinchenko receives the ball back from Sterling. Zinchenko dances past Pepe. What can he do with it? Over to the right-hand side where Mahrez tries to keep it in with a header that ends up heading it out. And it is an Arsenal throw. Arsenal, what can they do? Can they start to create more issues for City? Test that back line. They've not done it on too many occasions. Rob Holding now produces a lovely ball over to Kieran Tierney. Tierney loses it to Mahrez. His first touch let him down there, Tierney. The crossfield pass wasn't perfect. But it wasn't the best of touches from the Scottish international. And Ederson finds Gundogan, who bounces it first time to Zinchenko. Diaz now for City. Back to Ederson. Elneny pressing high for Arsenal. Here is Ederson. Ederson smashes forwards. Mahrez heads. Pablo Mari. Oh, that was dangerous. De Bruyne pressing high, looking to win the ball back deep in the Arsenal half. He would have been in then if he could, but Arsenal keep hold of it. And as I say, they remain in this game, Arsenal. Just 1-0 in favour of Manchester City, the league leaders. Arsenal currently 10th in the league. Not too many people expected them to get anything out of the game today. They're still in it at this point with half an hour left on the clock. Tierney, Saka, who's been a bright spark for Arsenal going forward today. Can he create something for them? The youngster. Granit Xhaka finds Bukayo Saka, who has Tierney to his left. He finds him. Tierney crosses the ball. I'd love to say in, but it goes straight behind for a goal kick, and that sums up Arsenal's attacking intent all season for me. Let's have a look if there's any comments in here. Kevin Jones thinks Klopp might be sacked before the season is over. Ridiculous. Can't see it happening. Shouldn't happen at all. That man has been a revelation for this football club, and I don't want to see him leave. I will cry grown man tears the day that man leaves. Gabriel Jesus has got his kit on. He will be City's first substitution of the day. I think Pep noticing that they've had opportunities to put this to bed. A lot of times they've created opportunities, but there's not been enough men in the middle for them. By putting a recognised striker on, might suit them better. Aubameyang falls to ground and a minimal contact. John Moss, who has had a decent game, to be fair for him. Fair to him, there's not been many big decisions for him to make, but he waves it away. Arsenal now on the ball inside the City half. Odegaard. Elmany. Hi to Youssef, who's just joined us. He's in the chat right now. Arsenal keeping possession now in their own half. Pablo Mari, Elneny finds Granit Xhaka, who is the only Arsenal man to be booked after a cynical foul on Sterling. But to be fair, he could have been booked before that. Rob Holding. It was a typical Granit Xhaka challenge, late, cynical, and worthy of a yellow. And that is just a hit and hope. Arsenal look like they ran out of ideas when they were on the ball, which I think Everton did in midweek themselves too, when they played Manchester City. Gabriel Jesus will now be introduced, and it's Kevin De Bruyne who will make way. He's not long returned from injury, of course. And for anyone that had De Bruyne in their FPL or bought him in for this week, he blanks and comes off after 62 minutes. So Gabriel Jesus, the Brazilian, replaces the Belgian Kevin De Bruyne. The ball forwards now from Edison towards Gabriel Jesus, who looked to me like he was bundled to ground, but the ref says no. I think from the ref's perspective there, Gabriel Jesus is always backing in. But Arsenal have a free kick foul from João Cancelo, who was late on Tierney. But what I don't like from Arsenal, we see this so often from them, whenever there's a foul like that, you constantly see Aubameyang, Xhaka, and several Arsenal players crowding round the referee. Bellerin is often there. I don't know why. All he does is shout at the referee and plant trees. But there is a yellow card produced for João Cancelo. It is a yellow card worthy foul, but John Moss recognised that. He's shown the yellow card. There's no need for the Arsenal players to surround the referee there. Attorney back to his feet, and the Portuguese right back João Cancelo receives his fourth yellow card of the season. He's been so pivotal for City this season, hasn't he? With that inverted fullback role that he's played for them. Been a key part for their successes so far this season. Kate believes that City's bench would win this game right now. Probably. Elneny holding Elneny again. Can Arsenal find something? They're still in this game. Somehow, I don't know how. Fernandinho gets a foot in, but Arsenal win the second ball. Pepe on the halfway line. He goes backwards to Rob Holding. Pablo Mari doesn't have it under control, and Bernardo noticed it, but couldn't quite get it back from him, and it goes back to Bernd Leno, who smashes at the field. And Stones with a 50-pence head, and out it goes for an Arsenal throw. And it's a quick throw from Tierney. Aubameyang's in behind. Can Stones recover? Yes, he can, and that is incredible defending from John Stones, who's making his 100th appearance for Manchester City today. And Ruben Diaz, who I say has been a world-class signing for Manchester City. He'll go down as one of the best signings of the summer in Europe. He goes over to John Stones and gives him a high five. I think it's not only just how good he has been, Ruben Diaz, since joining Man City, it's how he commands that back four, how he's got them playing better as a whole, how he's got Stones back in really good form and playing at the top of his game. He's a really, really good player, Ruben Diaz, and an excellent signing. And I've just seen Raheem Sterling has been penalised for something there by John Moss, and he's picked the ball up, he's thrown it down aggressively, and it's ended up smacking him in the face, and he's ended up red-faced. John Moss just giving him a talking to now. He's lucky to avoid a yellow card there, but as I say, smacked himself in the face with the ball there, Raheem Sterling. Xhaka. Back to Pablo Mari. Xhaka, let me know what your thinking is of this Arsenal performance. You know, it's been nothing special from them, but they're still in the game. It's only 1-0, and, you know, City scored after 80 seconds. I was saying it was going to be a cricket score. The first half an hour, City created loads of opportunities. Somehow Arsenal remained in the game, and they're still in it with 25 minutes left. I don't know what's going on here. The game of City have just stopped. Odegaard is hobbling. I think City couldn't decide whether they were going to put the ball out or not, but they've decided to play on now. Odegaard is running, so he seems okay. The game just stopped for a second then. Jurgen, best manager, Klopp, says, I'd like Arsenal to nick a goal. It would be nice. It'd be interesting, that's for sure. Sterling now on the left-hand side. Backwards to Zinchenko. I can't see Arsenal scoring them if we played all day. Fernandinho over the top. It's a poor ball and it's out for an Arsenal throw deep in their own half. Relegation predictions. Oh, an interesting one. I think Fulham are going to stay up. That's my shout. I think West Brom and Sheffield United are already dead and buried. I think Allardyce will be able to save West Brom despite what he's got on his CV. I think it'll be his first relegation. And I think Newcastle will go down too, personally. My shout for now. But I think it's, well, be interesting to see what Newcastle can do against Manchester United later on this evening. Remember, Craig will be live on Mundo Sporto with that one. City with the ball in their own half. Stones receives it from Edison and then goes back to Stones. They're happy with this, City. They've not been troubled much by Arsenal at all today. And, you know, they're not going to force an opportunity, force an opening. They're biding their time, treating it, as I've said many times, it's like a friendly at times, keeping possession, waiting patiently for openings. And now they've got a typical number 9 on the pitch. Hopefully, from their behalf, I think they've done it to see more goals, because in that first half an hour, they had 5 real opportunities, but they're only 1 goal ahead. Arsenal have a free kick about 35, 40 yards out now on the right-hand side. Ruben Diaz commanding his defence, commanding a harsh line. Really had a Virgil van Dijk impact on this City defence, Ruben Diaz. But with that being said, he's come into an already very, very expensive defence, and it's a poor ball. A poor ball. Arsenal have to do better than that if they want anything out of this game, and that's why I can't see them scoring. They've just not been good enough. Stones now on the right-hand side for City. Cancelo back to Stones, back to Edison. A lot of comments saying, I hope Liverpool avoid relegation. Big game against Sheffield United the weekend. What a ball that is in behind from Edison. Can Sterling get there? Leno is out very well, but that's what Edison has in his locker. I think it was last week we saw him get an assist, and he nearly had another one there. Good goalkeeping from Leno in the end. Brave. Cancelo now on the right for City after Arsenal lost the ball in their own half again. He strikes one. It's blocked. It's a throw for City. What have you lot made of the game? It's been quite flat at times, a bit boring. Not too much entertainment. Not too exciting. But I suppose from a City perspective, they're getting the job done. And from an Arsenal perspective, they've avoided a drumming here. And they're still very much in the game. Ruben Diaz. Zinchenko on the left side. Comes in. A couple of City players screaming for the ball. But he finds Jesus, who goes all the way back to Diaz on the halfway line. Diaz. Interesting pass. But it's Gundogan. Zinchenko. Diaz. João Cancelo, Diaz, City controlling possession here. Anthony Davis says dull. Yep. Very dull game. Tierney over to Aubameyang. Aubameyang cuts inside. Can Arsenal get something? Is that a foul or is he running to Fernandinho? The ref plays advantage. Saka. Odegaard. Bellerin across. It's blocked. And then Fernandinho gets away. Here is Elneny now. Elneny to Odegaard. Elneny. What do you reckon in the comments? Do you think Arsenal will be growing with confidence as it remains 1-1? Or do you think they'll just be happy with not conceding more than one? I think they've got to go for it. Why not? It's 20 minutes left. You're 1-0 down. You're still very much in the game. You've got the firepower up front. Go for it. But you're not going to do it like that. Pablo Mari with a poor pass behind Tierney, and it goes out for a throw. I don't know what Arteta's clapping at. Once again, causing their own issues. But I can see Arteta preparing a double sub now. The introduction of Lacazette and Emile Smith-Rowe is imminent. Who do you reckon I'll bring off as João Cancelo with a poor clearance there. Back to his keeper, Mo Elneny. Struck from distance. I don't know what that was. João Cancelo tried to go back to his keeper, but he slices it with the outside of his foot. It goes high in the air. Edison will get that clear as far as he did. It fell to Elneny 25 yards out, who hits it first time. And it goes wide, a long way wide in the end. But João Cancelo putting City under pressure there. Now Arsenal will make their subs. Odegaard is one of the men coming off. Lacazette being the first one to come on. I'd be interested who makes way for Emile Smith-Rowe. He will be introduced. He did so well for Arsenal at the start of 2021. He replaces Nicolas Pepe. Can he stamp something onto the game? Can he make an impact from the bench? The youngster Emile Smith-Rowe. Ball forwards to Sterling, who wins the header. Sterling, better in as well there. And Leno is a long way off his line. Stones, Cancelo, Diaz. Diaz to Cancelo again. Cancelo, the loose touch. He does well to get under control again over the right-hand side where Mahrez is. Mahrez cuts inside. Step over. Backwards to Bernardo Silva. Stones. Diaz. Zinchenko. One of those games, I reckon, if I went down to get a brew, came back up, you lot would tell me I didn't miss anything. City keeping the ball. Arsenal happy to let City keep the ball. It's still 1-0. They're still mathematically in it. But I think if we played all night, we wouldn't see Arsenal getting themselves back in this. Here is Ruben Diaz bursting forwards. He has had such an influence on Manchester City side this season. A brilliant sign from them in the summer. And so young as well, of course. City win a free kick deep in the Arsenal half. João Cancelo brought to ground and he takes it quickly, goes backwards to Bernardo Silva, who goes sideways to Fernandinho. Fernandinho, Sterling on the left-hand side, on the touchline. Can he create something? The goal scorer. Zinchenko, Sterling, Bernardo. Sterling again. The game is so flat. Sterling. Backwards to Bernardo Silva. Gundogan. Bernardo Silva. City. Keeping the ball. Keeping their lead. Ruben Diaz. Gundogan. Ruben Diaz again. Gundogan. Bernardo Silva. Let's have a look into the comments. If people are still awake, that is. I'm struggling to keep my eyes open. I have to get the cocktail sticks out in a minute to make sure. The ball over the top from Edison again, looking to find Mahrez in behind. Pablo Mari chests it down and brings the ball under control. And here's Granit Xhaka, who looks left to Aubameyang, who has moved out to the left with the introduction of Lacazette. Pablo Mari again now. Mark Caldwell saying Bournemouth have appointed Woodgate as manager till the end of the season. They have. What do people make of that appointment? I was hoping Henry got the job. Here's Rob Holding now, roaming forwards with the ball. And Fernandinho falls to ground. Aubameyang on the left-hand side. Pulls it back. Xhaka clips one over the top to Aubameyang. What can he do? It's across first time. Saka under control, slips. Big chance for Arsenal. They work that well. Sterling. Foul by El Nani. Free kick to Man City. And that was a big, big chance for Arsenal. If Saka hadn't slipped, it was a big opportunity. Good clipped pass in behind from Xhaka to Aubameyang. Aubameyang, first time, puts the ball across, and Saka gets the ball under control. Diaz is primed and ready to get a block in, but Saka slips anyway and is unable to get a shot underway. And now City have a free kick inside their own half, inside the last 15 minutes here. Owen Hanrahan says, hi mates. Just remember, after this, it is Newcastle United versus Manchester United. Newcastle United find themselves deep in a relegation scrap. Manchester United need to keep on picking up the points if they want to remain in second place. Dropped points last week, of course. West Brom, I believe, wasn't it? It's just an hour away. If anyone gets the team news for that game, whack it in the chat and I'll read it out for you. I may as well find it myself because nothing's going to happen in this game. El Nani across to Pablo Mari. Pablo Mari back to El Nani. El Nani back to Bernd Leno. Yes, Craig will be live after this stream for the United game. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Over to Rob Holding. Will says, Arsenal have put up a good fight against City. They have. On a different day, I strongly believe City could have battered Arsenal here. They've had enough opportunities, but Arsenal have rode the storm. They've had a couple of chances themselves, or should I say half chances. You know, though they've been sloppy in possession at times, they're still in this game with 12 minutes to go. Gundogan breaks, finds Sterling to the left of him. Sterling. Gundogan again. Sterling. Gundogan running through. Sterling finds him. Saka's back well to do his defensive duties. Back to Sterling from Gundogan. Sterling backwards to Zinchenko. Zinchenko inside to Ruben Diaz. Anthony Davis asking if me and Craig could do a Liverpool game together. I'll let you know. I've never done a watch-along for Liverpool before. And me and Craig usually prefer to do watch-alongs separately. But it's something we can talk about, Anthony, if that's what people want. Fernandinho inside to João Cancelo. Cancelo over to Jesus. Cancelo's foul, but the advantage is in City's favour as Jesus looks to create something. Cancelo, oh, that's beautiful, and it goes just wide. Another big opportunity for City there to strengthen the lead. It was lovely, lovely play from João Cancelo, who feinted, completely took Pablo Mari out of the game. And I thought after that, it would be game over. They sped it up then, City. Jesus went backwards to Cancelo, who, with his first touch, completely took Pablo Mari out of the game. Mari dived in. But, you know, he's got to do better with that finish. He really has got to do better with that finish, João Cancelo. Big, big chance for City. And will they regret that later in the game? Gents says United were good against Real Sociedad. They were. Well, here's the United 11. It is De Gea, Shaw, Maguire, Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka, Fred, Matip, Rashford, Fernandes, James, and Martial. So Dan James, Martial, and Rashford, the front three for United today. And James, who may not have much longer at Manchester United. There's talk of them bringing in someone like Sancho in the summer. But he starts today. And the Newcastle 11 is Darlow, Jamal Lewis, Clark, Lascelles, Kraft, Hayden, Shelvey, Willock, who is on loan from Arsenal, of course, Almiron, St. Maximan, and Joel Linton. Interesting to see if they can get something out of that game against United this evening, and it would be massive for their hopes to stay up. And just seeing that Sterling goal back again, Arsenal only have themselves to blame. Poor defending, Rob Holding not recognising Sterling was stood right behind him, and Sterling finishes with a headed finish. I wonder what the chances were of both Lucas Moura and Raheem Sterling scoring headers on the same day. There's a long stoppage, by the way. Rob Holding is down with a jaw injury, it looks like, but he's just got back to his feet now. Jenska 1102 hates Lindelof-Maguire partnership. Well, you're going to have to see it today for United after this game. David Luiz is preparing to come on for Arsenal now. I think it will be to replace Rob Holding. Mustafa says, would you take St. Maximin from Newcastle if they get relegated? Interesting one, really interesting, because there's times from St. Maximin where I really like what I see. Obviously, he's had a difficult season, heavily affected by COVID. He is one of those who suffered from long COVID, had it really quite bad. And I've not really seen him looking bright since then, particularly. But, you know, before COVID, he looks a real player, and he was really important for Newcastle. A big reason that they were doing all right under Steve Bruce, and a reason I think that they've struggled more this season in his absence. There's a comment here saying they think Taki will score against us when they play, but no, he won't, because he's alone, so he can't play, of course. By the way, that Rob Holding change, because it's a head injury, I believe it's down as a concussion substitution. So that's the first we've seen in the Premier League, a concussion substitution, which obviously means it doesn't count as a substitution. It's a substitution for concussion. So Rob Holding has been taken off the pitch, and David Luiz has replaced him, and it is the first concussion substitution of Premier League history. So, you know, a big moment for the Premier League there. Sterling, I think it's been a long time coming, that concussion substitutions, and I think it's a brilliant introduction to the game as Sterling dances past a couple of Arsenal players and tries to create an opportunity to put the game to bed for David Luiz with his first stamp on the game as he tackles Raheem Sterling and wins the ball back for Arsenal. Aubameyang now on the left-hand side. What can he do? Can the skipper get something out of this game for Arsenal? Stones just bodies him off the ball there. Brilliant defending from John Stones. Aubameyang wants a free kick, but Stones has just out-strengthened him. And this City defence has been so good today. So good. Stones on his 100th appearance for City. Diaz, who commands that back four, age just 23. And, you know, that's the worrying thing. City got Diaz for 60-odd mil. He's 23. He's going to be a big player for them going forwards, and he is such a strong centre-back. Mustafa thinks we should get Issa from West Ham. Edison the long ball forward. Here is Mahrez, who finds Gabriel Jesus. Can City get a second? Gundogan, Jesus, Gundogan, Diaz, Zinchenko. Let me know in the chat. We've got about 6 minutes plus what I think will probably be 3 or 4 stoppage time. Who do you think's been man of the match today? Edison forwards towards Mahrez. Luiz is there for Arsenal. Oh, and Fernandinho wins the ball high up the pitch. It was a poor pass from Emile Smith-Rowe. Fernandinho tried to find Gundogan, but Smith-Rowe, after giving the ball away, came back and dealt with his defensive duties well, and Arsenal take the goal kick quickly. It's Bernd Leno wide to Bellerin. Bukayo Saka fouled by Jesus. Arsenal hope to play on, but John Moss blows his whistle. Saka still on the ground after the foul by Gabriel Jesus, who offers the youngster a high five, and Arsenal will make another change. People will go, oh, Arsenal are making the 4th change, but of course that Rob Holding one was a concussion substitution bought at the start of February, which allows an extra substitution when a player goes down with a concussion. So Ceballos is now coming on loan from Real Madrid, of course. He comes on, and Elneny is the man who goes off. If you didn't see the results earlier, it was Leicester 2, Aston Villa 1. Aston Villa without Jack Grealish, without Matty Cash, beaten by Leicester by 2-1. Here's Lacazette, who's through. Diaz defends well for City once again. He's like a brick wall at the back for them. So Leicester won 2-1 against Aston Villa. And, of course, West Ham were 2 goals up against Tottenham. The game finished 2-1. Lingard is killing it at West Ham, as this comment says. Tierney across. Can Arsenal get something out of this game? It's away from City. Jesus skips away, and that's a foul from Bellerin, who will go into the book for that. Cynical again. We use that word. There's been a couple of them from Arsenal today. Pablo Mari is complaining. I don't know how you can complain about them. We see it from Arsenal all the time, but surrounding the referee, moaning about yellow cards or players not getting yellow cards when it's for the opposition. But Jesus just skips past Bellerin, and Bellerin's got a trailing leg out, and he just brings him down. It's cynical, and it's a definite yellow card. Mark Caldwell pointing out John Moss has had a good game. Yeah, he has had a good game. As I said, there's not been too many big decisions for him to make, but everything he's had to do, he's had a good game. Fahim says, do you think we'll go back for Calais Dakar in the summer? I think it's an interesting one. I don't think anyone knows at the moment, mate. We'll have to see in the summer. Bernardo Silva to Fernandinho. Here's Sterling, cuts inside. Sterling, in behind to Gundogan. What can he do? The German puts it across. David Luiz blocks, and it is out for a City corner. And I don't think they'll be in a rush to take this. Mustafa thinks we should throw all our money at Harvey Barnes. I've seen a lot of this, and you know what? I rate him. I think it would be an excellent signing. But for a team that can't qualify for the Champions League, or we don't know if we're going to qualify for the Champions League, I think it's a bit disrespectful to say, we should go in and sign Harvey Barnes, because Leicester are flying, and at the minute, why would he want to join us? It's as simple as that. He's at a club who look likely to get Champions League football, and we may be in the Europa League next season. So I think our transfers in the summer are very much going to depend on where we finish in the league this season, in my opinion. David Luiz now, 2 minutes to go in normal time, plus stoppage time. Lacazette wins the free kick. Arsenal will be hopeful that they can get something out of this. It doesn't look likely. City have defended well all game. City put themselves under pressure once, really, with a poor Cancelo back pass, but Edison dealt with it all right in the end. They've never really looked like conceding today. Arsenal had a couple of half chances, but here's City break. Gabriel Jesus, can he do something here? He's got Mahrez going up with him. 3 Arsenal men back. Gabriel Jesus. And if this was a different sport, he would have got 2 points for a conversion for that, but he blasts over a long, long way over. And a wasted opportunity. Arsenal in a hurry. They get the goal kick taken quickly. Then they're short again. David Luiz at the back for Arsenal now. A long ball forwards. Lacazette wins the header, flicks it on. Can Saka get there? No. Stones is there. Brings it under control and dribbles away. Diaz. Gundogan back to Zinchenko. Zinchenko back to Edison, who smashes the ball a long way forwards. David Luiz wins the air, but City win it back. Mahrez, brought down by Luiz, wins the free kick. Maybe John Moss blew his whistle a bit too soon there. City still were on the ball, and Gundogan picked out a pass to Sterling on the left, but City won't mind that. They're 1-0 up. They'll take their time with this free kick, and they'll keep the ball. 4 minutes of added time, by the way. We've got 4 minutes added on. Remember, after this, you can join Craig live for Manchester United versus Newcastle. It won't be straight after. I think it'll probably be 15 minutes or so before the game. He will be over on Mundo Sporto for that. Sterling, Zinchenko over the top to Gabriel Jesus. It's defended well by Gabriel. by David Luiz. Sorry, Arsenal win the free kick. Fernandinho picks up the ball and doesn't want Arsenal to take it quickly, but John Moss quickly snatches it off him and gives it to Arsenal to take the free kick. 3 minutes left of stoppage time. Bernd Leno will take this free kick. A lot of Arsenal players going forwards. Elsewhere in Napoli 1, Atalanta 1. Ball forwards from Bernd Leno. Headed by John Stones. Tierney. Ceballos. Over to Saka. Saka. Gives it away. Zinchenko smashes away. David Luiz wins the header. Fernandinho then heads it. A strong header. Arsenal with the ball in their own half. Tierney back to Bernd Leno. Mahrez presses. Bernd Leno with a clip pass over Mahrez to Kieran Tierney. Kieran Tierney switches the play. David Luiz fouls Ruben Diaz. It's just naive from David Luiz. There's no need for that. He's always looking at the man. It's like an elbow in the gut, really. And Ruben Diaz, winded. And he's been given Sky's man of the match. You know what? For me, it's Diaz or Stones. You know, them two have been incredible at the back for City all season. Partnership has transformed, this City defence. He's been a leader at the back for City all season. He's been a leader at the back today. As I say, Arsenal haven't been allowed to create too many opportunities. They really haven't. And for me, I would agree with Gary Neville, Ruben Diaz as man of the match. But John Stones has a shout for it too. You know, I think Mahrez was exciting and caused problems early on for City. Sterling, obviously, the match winner. But for me, it has to be Diaz or Stones. Sterling's goal inside the first 90 seconds of the game looks to be the only goal of this game. It's been flat, it's been boring at times, but it's been dominated by Manchester City, who are dominating the Premier League this season and aren't too far away from being champions again for the third time in 4 seasons. And they're playing like champions at the moment, Manchester City. It must be said. Remember, I'll be doing their game against Mönchengladbach on Wednesday as well in the Champions League. City with a free kick. 30 seconds left of stoppage time. I think this game will finish 1-0. City with a throw in the Arsenal half. Zinchenko, Sterling. Gabriel Jesus winning a foul again. Ceballos isn't happy, but City clever there. Gabriel Jesus clever. They'll keep it in that corner now, City. They've managed this game brilliantly. As I say, they could have scored a lot more goals this game, but it's not been. They've wasted a couple of opportunities, a couple of good opportunities, but their game management has been outstanding. It really, really has. And their leads has never looked troubled. Arsenal not had too many chances at all. As I say, City just keeping the ball in that corner now. We've had the 4 minutes. Arsenal win the throw. Bellerin trying to urge his team on. John Moss pushing him back to where the throw should be taken from. But now Bellerin is taking long with the ball in his hands. David Luiz just hits and hopes forward. Zinchenko. Xhaka heads back to Leno, and I think when Leno rolls this out, that might be full time. No, John Moss, not even looking at his clock as the ball's played by Tierney. Out of play for a Man City throw. And that is the full-time whistle. Manchester City have won again. They continue their fantastic run of form. As I say, the most informed side in Europe right now. Really well managed this game. They could have scored many more. They looked outstanding in the first 20 minutes, caused Arsenal all kinds of problems. But after that, they managed the game well. They were incredible at the back. It's another clean sheet for them. Ruben Diaz and John Stones, that partnership, once again, outstanding. Before I go, I just want to remind you of our sponsors today, OneFootball. This video is sponsored by OneFootball. OneFootball is the only football app you need to follow thousands of teams, hundreds of leagues and competitions worldwide. It is packed with all the latest news, videos, fixtures, scores, stats, and key dates, and it personalizes the content that you want. It allows you to put your favorite team in, your favorite leagues, the fixtures you want to follow. It is an incredible app that I use, all my friends use, my family use it, everyone I know uses OneFootball. And if you're not using it yet, you need to go and download it. Well, there we have it. Arsenal 0, Manchester City 1, full time. A real Champions-like performance from Manchester City. A goal by Raheem Sterling inside that first 80 seconds of the game. And they're beginning to run away with the Premier League trophy now. Thank you very much for joining me for this stream. Remember to check out our sponsors, OneFootball. And remember, Craig will be live shortly with United versus Newcastle in this evening's game. Can Newcastle get anything out of that? And big points towards staying up in the Premier League after Fulham won last night. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for all your comments, and we shall see you soon. Ta-ra.